Nothing in life is worthwhile unless you are willing to take risks. Every meaningful achievement, every breakthrough, every moment of growth begins at the edge of uncertainty. Nelson Mandela once said, "There is no passion to be found playing small, settling for a life that is less than the one you are capable of living." And yet, from a very young age, many of us are taught to do exactly that: play it safe, avoid mistakes, and protect ourselves from failure. Think back to your own journey, your time in school, the pressure of exams, the anxiety of applying to college, choosing a major, and trying to figure out what you want to do with your life. Somewhere along the way, someone probably pulled you aside and gave you what they thought was wise advice. Make sure you have something to fall back on. They meant well. They wanted to protect you from pain, from disappointment, from embarrassment. But I never truly understood that idea. If I'm going to fall, why would I want to fall backward? Why would I want to retreat into fear? If I'm going to fall, I want to fall forward, because at least then I'll be moving towards something. At least then, I'll see what I'm going to hit. Progress does not come from comfort. Without consistency, without commitment, without showing up even when it's hard, you'll never finish anything meaningful. That's why you must do what you feel passionate about. Passion is what keeps you going when motivation disappears. Passion is what keeps you standing when failure knocks you to the ground. Take chances. Bet on yourself. Don't be afraid to fail, because failure is not the opposite of success. It is part of success. There's an old problem used in intelligence tests involving 9 dots arranged in a square. The challenge is to draw 5 straight lines through all 9 dots without lifting your pencil. Most people fail because they stay trapped inside the invisible boundaries of the box. The only way to solve it is to draw lines that go outside the box. That's the lesson life keeps teaching us over and over again. Don't be afraid to think differently. Don't be afraid to challenge assumptions. Don't be afraid to step beyond what feels safe or familiar. Dream big, fail big, but always remember this: dreams without goals remain just dreams. They inspire, but they don't transform. Goals give dreams direction. Discipline gives them power. Consider Reggie Jackson, one of the greatest baseball players of all time. He struck out 2,600 times during his career, the most in the history of the sport. Yet no one remembers the strikeouts. They remember the home runs. They remember the moments when he showed up under pressure and delivered. Thomas Edison failed more than 1,000 times while trying to invent the light bulb. When asked about his failures, he said he didn't fail. He simply found 1,000 ways that didn't work. Each failure brought him closer to success. Every failed attempt is a lesson. Every setback is preparation. You will fail at some point in your life. That is not a possibility. It is a guarantee. You will lose. You will fall short. You will embarrass yourself. You will discover that you're not as good at something as you thought you were. And that's okay. In fact, that's necessary. If you never fail, it means you're not stretching yourself. It means you're not reaching far enough. If you don't fail, you're not even trying. And to get something you've never had, you must be willing to do something you've never done. In the acting business, failure is constant. Early in my career, I auditioned for a role in a Broadway musical. I thought it was perfect for me, until reality stepped in. I can't sing. I didn't get the part. I could have quit. I could have taken it as a sign that I wasn't good enough. But instead, I walked out of that audition determined to prepare for the next one, and then the next, and then the next. I prayed. I worked. I failed again, and again, and again. But I kept showing up. Because there's an old saying: if you hang around the barbershop long enough, sooner or later, you're going to get a haircut. If you stay in the game long enough, eventually, your moment will come. Years later, I performed in a Broadway play called Fences. And here's the twist. It was at the same theater where I had failed that first audition decades earlier. Life has a way of bringing things full circle. The lesson is simple but powerful. Failure is not permanent unless you quit. Time, effort, and persistence can transform rejection into redemption. Every graduate, every young person, every dreamer has the talent and potential to succeed. But talent alone is not enough. The real question is this: do you have the courage to fail? Do you have the strength to keep going when the applause disappears? Because comfort never creates greatness. Growth lives on the other side of fear. Imagine this moment. You are at the end of your life, lying in your bed, taking your final breaths. Around you stand invisible figures, the ghosts of your unfulfilled potential, the ideas you never acted on, the talents you never used, the dreams you were too afraid to chase. They look at you with disappointment, not because you failed, but because you never tried. They say, "We came to you because you could have brought us to life. Now we have to go to the grave with you." That is the true tragedy, not failure, but regret. The world is in desperate need of people who are willing to step up. There is poverty, injustice, suffering, and pain everywhere. Africa needs help. The Middle East needs help. Asia needs help. America needs help. Your city needs help. Your community needs help. And the world doesn't need perfection. It needs courage. It needs people who are willing to give what they have. Not everyone has money, but everyone has something: time, talent, kindness, patience, compassion, leadership, faith. Whatever your gift is, the question remains the same. What are you going to do with what you have? Failure often serves as a compass. It points you toward where you truly belong. Life is rarely a straight line. I began college as a pre-med student, then I switched to pre-law, then journalism. With no clear direction, my grades suffered, and eventually the university suggested I take time off. I was 20 years old and at the lowest point of my life. But sometimes, rock bottom becomes the foundation for something greater. One day, while helping my mother in her beauty shop, an older woman stared at me through the mirror. Finally, she spoke and said she had a prophecy for me. She told me that one day I would travel the world and speak to millions of people. At the time, it sounded impossible. But years later, through my work, through my films, through my voice, that prophecy became reality. Not because my path was perfect, but because I didn't stop moving forward. Taking risks is not just about chasing a career. It's about being open to life itself. It's about relationships, faith, ideas, and growth. The people you meet, the chances you take, the love you give, and the resilience you build, these are the things that shape who you become. Never allow fear to shrink your vision. Never let comfort steal your potential. Give everything you have to everything you do. And when life knocks you down, and it will, remember this: don't fall back. Don't retreat into fear or excuses. Learn, rise, adjust, and above all, fall forward.